Dude, you're a spineless douche. Like everything you have said in the last two videos, you've contradicted yourself in the past. People have said you were a snake in the past, and I always gave you the benefit of the doubt. But I'm done with you, man. I'm gonna make sure you can see this voice message, and then I'm gonna block you on every social media outlet I have, because somebody who does something that you, a person who does something like you just did, is a piece of shit, bro. Like to stab somebody in the back like that, which is exactly what you did, just to make yourself look better on YouTube, ain't got no fucking place in my life, bro. So, best of luck to you, man.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I was actually conversing with, I guess you could call him my buddy. I don't know. YouTube is funny with friends and relationships and how people look at other people. It's a journey we're all on together, and we're all learning a lot, a tremendous amount about not just like other people, but also, and more importantly, who we are as individuals. And the RetroBro came out with a video this morning turning heel about his position on the Intellivision Amico. And this was a voice message that he had left me via Facebook Messenger a while back when I first turned heel myself and came to the conclusion that this may not be all it's cracked up to be. And I made the tweet, I don't like posting DMs, and I genuinely don't. Like, it's kind of like a last resort if I have to show people what I'm dealing with in the background of a situation, and I feel like it's something that the community needs to hear about, I will post the DM. But that's, like I said, it's a last resort type thing. I had a lot of people coming at me, and I wanted them to understand what I was dealing with in the background when I came to the conclusion that this Intellivision corporation may not be all it's cracked up to be. And I said in a tweet, I don't like posting DMs, but if you're going to bitch me out and block me, I need to give context to my response, because he blocked me. That's the other thing. In this case, I wasn't going to post a DM, but I wasn't able to respond to him, so I had to do it publicly. And to add context to that, I needed to tweet it out. No judgment on you lashing out at me, RetroBro. When you come to your senses and apologize, I won't hold it against you. Remember, it's just a plastic box. So this was me basically stating that I understood his imposition because I used to be where he was. And he was a little bit more hard-headed when it came to grasping the situation with Tommy Tallarico and, to a greater extent, the entire Intellivision Amico situation. And this message from the RetroBro came from the video that I posted stating the Intellivision Amico situation is getting absurd. And here's a quick snippet of my heartfelt feelings. And my experience with Tommy Tallarico was fantastic initially. And we've had a friendship throughout this entire ordeal. Until now. I don't know where I'm at with them. I don't. After this video is probably not going to be in a good place. So in this video I go on to talk about Phil Adam being a part of the Calico Chameleon and how the entire organization over at Intellivision was starting to smell quite sketchy. And I had carried this torch as far as I'm going to bring it, and by carrying the torch, by pumping the Intellivision Amico, it was destroying, one, my integrity, two, Smash JT as a brand on YouTube for whatever it was worth. And for what? Just because of a friendship with Tommy, which he was using to hold me hostage in a situation where I couldn't speak my mind for a very long time? Why? So I came out with this video. RetroBro was clearly pissed, and he blocked me. A few weeks later, I don't remember exactly the date, he unblocked me. And he actually apologized. And he told me he understood where I was coming from. And he was taking a big step back from YouTube because of his perspective changing. RetroBro has now begun turning heel. I don't want to say completely turned heel, because he still holds on to the I want to still be friends with you guys. I still want this to work out. I still hope for the best. Like, it's literally ironic. I was talking to John earlier today. I'm like, I watched the video, and I'm like, it's if you pair it against the video that I turned heel on, it's very similar. Our perspectives of, we don't want to hurt feelings, we don't want to lose friends, we don't want to ruin any relationships or hurt anybody in the process, but we got to be honest. And this is the first real public video. I know John's made a couple like live streams talking about it, but that was just like touching the surface level. This one dives in a little bit more detail, but it still holds a lot back. And it reminds me a lot of my video that I made, the Intellivision Amico situation is getting absurd, because I said the same stuff in this one. I still want to be friends with these guys. I still hope for the best, but I'm very concerned. And as time's passed, they've proven me right. I kept saying, prove me wrong, do something, do anything. Nothing. In fact, it's gotten a lot worse. Like, Intellivision's now not giving back the money for pre-orders from certain people that have tried for weeks and been unsuccessful. These are unconfirmed reports. I have not canceled my Amico yet. That's something I'll dive into in the future. But I've heard reports. I've had people DM me on Twitter, tell me that they've struggled getting their money back from Intellivision. And it feels like that was a straw that broke the camel's back for John.
Let's talk about the Intellivision Amico and kind of an update of where I stand on everything. So I did put a tweet out the other day.
Here's a tweet that he's referring to. I love all my friends who still have faith, and hats off to you guys, but I no longer have faith that the Amico will have any sort of success beyond some fans getting a cool gadget. It's a sad situation. At this point, I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst. Video to come.
But I don't think the Amico at this point will have any success outside of being a fun gadget. You know, right now.
You can tell he's really torn here, because he looked, and Tommy used him. Tommy uses people. That's what Tommy does. Tommy used me. And RetroBro came to the point of, I'm not going to keep pushing this thing, but he's still trying to keep in touch with Tommy. And you can't have your cake and eat it too in this situation. You need to call Tommy out, and you need to be honest about your feelings. You can't try to keep an attachment to someone who's done nothing but lie to you and everybody else in the entire community the entire time that this thing was even a conceived notion in his mind.
Because I said, when I meant the fun gadget thing, I mean, I think it is going to come out to a degree. I don't know if founders get theirs, maybe more than founders.
I am at the point where I do not think the Intellivision Amico is coming out, at least from Intellivision. If it has a chance to ever come out, ever, from anywhere, it's going to be someone that buys it out of bankruptcy and just shoves it out the door. It's not sustainable in its current state. The company is burning through cash. As far as I can tell, letting employees go, or at least having them look elsewhere, not filling very important vital roles at the company, desperate for an influx of cash in a quiet period, and nobody is helping them out. They're up a creek without a paddle right now, which I've said for a while. But this point we're at right now, with a faux fake unboxing video to deceive people, in line, on brand with what Intellivision's done, piled on with the fact that GameStop has announced they are no longer carrying this item and refunding any pre-orders, the writing is on the wall. You can lie to yourself all you want. I'm not talking to John here, but Amico Cult members and people that are really excited about this thing. But the truth is literally right in front of you, and you are choosing to ignore the facts and just hanging on to the idea of the hope of this console. And unfortunately, coming from somebody who was an insider, if you will, I've seen the light, because I've seen that this is not happening in its current state. But maybe it gets picked up by a third party. out of bankruptcy or whatever, and it comes out, but it's going to be a shell of what they've promised.
And then maybe nothing after that. I don't know. I don't think at this point, based on everything that's been going on, and just let me clarify, I don't know anything right now. I have not really talked to anybody.
You can tell he's really emotionally
I do talk
drained.
to Tommy, but we don't talk about Intellivision stuff.
I do talk to Tommy, but we don't talk about Intellivision stuff. Do you think that maybe Tommy wants to keep a connection with you just so you don't try to crap on the system on your channel? Because he wants you to feel bad about doing that, potentially. Could be an angle.
And this is a video that's just me saying I don't any longer have faith really in the Intellivision Amico. I still hold to the fact that I think it would be a fun console. I have played it, so I know it is a lot of fun.
You've played whatever is inside of that shell, and I have too. But that is not the Intellivision Amico. Let's be clear about that. There is no Intellivision Amico. That's the problem. They've not created a retail unit still to this day. And if I were to speculate, I would guess that's because they're weighing their options right now on how to even release this thing, if they can get some help with a cash influx to do so. Get rid of the back end, get rid of the store, and just add the games and make it a plug and play. Boom, get it out the door, make some money back, and just move on from this catastrophe. That's my quick assessment of the ideal path forward based off of what they've done to get here. But no faith in Intellivision of doing anything proper when it comes to business.
But at this point, I can no longer go on and keep kicking the can down the road, because it's one thing after another. And I think, honestly, my biggest issue as of lately is you know, a lot has been said about the Amico and you know, the drama surrounding it. One of the biggest things I thought they could always hang their hat on was your $100 deposit is 100% refundable.
You can like hear his voice. Like, he sounds like he's really holding back tears here. Like, emotionally, this is a very challenging video for him to film. And I want to like make that crystal clear to people. John's not faking this. Like, he was hardcore Amico fanboy through and through. Not too different than what I was. I would almost argue he's a little bit more of a fanboy because he stuck with it longer than I did. And even he is coming to the conclusion of this entire situation is a sham, a fraud, a scam. At this point, they promised, Phil Adam himself promised, if people needed their $100 deposit back, that they would guarantee giving it back to people. Said that in a podcast. People aren't getting it. And the customer service, from what I understand, is not even getting back to people. So what value do the words that Phil Adam and Tommy Tallarico speak hold? Zero. If anything, I'd argue they hold less than zero, because when they say something, it's actually the opposite is true.
We're kind of finding out that's not the case. There's a lot of people that are requesting cancellations that are not getting their money back. I don't know if that's because Intellivision doesn't have the money to give them their money back, which would be disastrous, because if you can't refund $100, how are you going to put a console out? Or they're just not getting these emails, which is also terrible, which means they don't have a good customer service, or they've cut employees,
or both.
I don't know, but that's not good. Like, you promised people that they would get their $100 back, and there's nothing. There's still a lot of people waiting.
And remember, John is one of the people, RetroBro, was defending Phil Adam initially. When I had my first take saying that I found out he worked on the Illegal Chameleon. He was on the board of directors, which was a fraud scam console through and through. And that's super sketchy. Looks really bad. It's just a terrible look overall. John said, oh, I talked to Phil. He assured me that he didn't have anything to do with that. He knew nothing about the fraud. He was brought on because he thought he was friends with Mike Kennedy and blah, 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 all this other stuff. And Tommy backed him up on that. Oh, he had no idea. He had no idea. And now here we are, and the same shit's happening. So I guess like one time is that's concerning. 2 times is a trend. Phil Adam is a scammer. Like in my book, he is a scammer. He is a scam artist through and through. He has lied. He has led people on. He has gone into a quiet period when it was convenient. He has been an atrocious addition to the leadership team at Intellivision. But on brand, because they had atrocious leadership beforehand. So I guess it's just in line with the expectations. Makes you wonder if this was more of a scam all along than was let on.
It's gone to the fact that some people have had to actually reach out to the CEO to get their money back.
And even then.
I don't think that's right. I think if somebody needs that money, and Phil had even said it in a podcast, like if you need the $100, reach out to us and we'll get your money back. I mean,
Phil said a lot of things. Phil sent me a text after my video calling them out, and he said, hey, you have my number. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to me directly. Whatever that's worth, because he doesn't ever tell the truth. So what's the point of talking to him? But just to hear about, I did respond to him a couple weeks later. I sent him a text. I called him and left him a very cordial voicemail saying, Phil, what's going on? Give me some idea of what is happening over there so that I can quell the fears of people, because you gave me your information and I have some serious concerns about whatever it was that day that was happening. I don't remember because it's been so many things. I have some serious concerns about this stuff. Could you please just address it so that I can tell people what you said? Even though I already know it's worthless words, something. And he didn't even respond to me. So I don't understand why Phil would even reach out to me in the first place if when I respond to him and say, all right, I'll take you up on your offer, he doesn't respond to me. On brand.
You guys hung your hat on this $100 deposit being refundable, and people are jumping through hoops to get their money back. I don't think that's right. Number 2, the GameStop situation. The GameStop situation has really kind of bugged me, because in my lifespan as a gamer and pre-ordering stuff, and it's been a while since I pre-ordered anything. I think the last console I pre-ordered was a Nintendo Switch. Huge difference, obviously, big different company. There's never been these types of issues with pre-orders on GameStop, ever. Not that I remember. I never remember GameStop charging customers for a console that, number 1, isn't out, and number 2, they don't even have inventory of.
This is one of the concerns that I had in the last few videos I've made, is why haven't Intellivision reached out to GameStop? Like this, we saw the train coming from a mile away. Like, move out of the way. Like, call GameStop and tell them that your release date is not going to hit March 31st. Like, we all know it's not. So reach out and tell them that. And they did nothing. Just quiet period. Apparently that extends to retailers too.
So I was really confused by this. And I don't know to this day whose fault it was. Was it GameStop's fault?
Intellivision.
Was it Intellivision's fault?
Was it It's Intellivision's responsibility to let GameStop know what the release date is. And if GameStop is told a release date and they're not told otherwise, that's the release date from the company that's releasing something. You can't pin this on GameStop at all. Like, this was the release date that was set. Yes, it was a placeholder. It was a lie all along. And Intellivision didn't step up to the plate and acknowledge it. They just let the day come and go. And GameStop got a lot of pissed off customers from it. It is 1000% Intellivision's fault. like I said in my video, unless Intellivision did reach out to GameStop and GameStop just dropped the ball and didn't do anything, but why would anyone give Intellivision the benefit of the doubt that they did that when they have never done anything like that leading up to that point?
But at the end of the day, here's the thing, like, Intellivision should have come out and put out a statement, even if it's just, hey, we're aware of the problem, we're working to fix it, people will get their money back. Let's at least start there. Like, reassure your fans that we are looking into this. Give them some peace of mind that that you have their back. So,
quiet period. Very convenient. You have all these people that have so much faith in this organization for whatever reason. They just, the diehards, the Amico Cult, if you will, that is just keeping the faith, holding on hope for whatever reason, and not having any kind of guarantees or even words, like nothing anymore. Now it's just nothing. And they're still hanging on tight to the fact that Intellivision's gonna come through with this. Even though they've, along the way, have not given anyone a reason to think that they would ever do that.
So that really bothered me. I get the quiet time thing, or quiet period, whatever they call it in business talks. After all the years that they've been kicking this can down the road, I really do think, and this is where some people will still disagree with me, I do think at the end of the day, they started off with good intentions. It wasn't a scam. I still don't believe it's a scam, but I think to this point, it's been mismanaged so well that it's kind of hard to look at it from the outside and not see it as a scam, whether it is.
Here's where my mind has been kind of morphing on this issue. Is it a scam or not? Has it always been a scam? Or is this something just mismanaged to hell? I would say that it's kind of both. And here's why. Tommy Tallarico is a con artist. Based off of the videos that I've watched and how he misled investors, tried his best to sell people on something that doesn't exist, get as much money as possible, and promise these returns that no way, no how were ever going to come to fruition. That's a con artist.
So, I mean, here's the thing, guys. The company is built, the product is built, the games are being built, we have the manufacturing ready to go, the money in place for manufacturing, the retailers, the purchase orders, the pre-orders. The rocket ship is built, folks, and we are on the launch pad headed for the stars. We just need a little more fuel to get there. And that is really what this offering is all about.
Now, where I would say it's both is, I wonder if Tommy doesn't even know that he is. Like, I think that's just Tommy's personality, where he thinks he's a cool, good dude that's hip and with it. But in reality, he doesn't acknowledge the fact that he is slimy and scummy and scammy. So it's, to me, it's both. It's somebody who, I think in Tommy's mind, he set out with the best intentions. But the type of person that Tommy is does not have the ability to follow through on that. Which is why I say that's why it's confusing, why it's the ultimate question, and ultimately why I say it's both. It's always been a scam, and it's just recently come to light that, okay, it's definitely a scam.
Or it isn't. If you're new to this, or if you're just coming in and you see what's going on, it's very hard to look at it and say, you know, with a reason, something's not right here. So I get it. I mean, I'm still, listen, I'm considering canceling my pre-order.
You can hear how torn he is here. He's trying, this is the part of the video where he goes really, really hard on the fence riding, where he's like, I want to keep my friends. I don't want to cancel it yet. I have a lot of concerns. And like I said, it reminds me a lot of my initial Turning Point video.
I don't know. I'm probably not going to get my money back anyways. And to be honest with you, I don't even I will probably have FOMO if it does come out. I will kind of be bummed out if I don't get it, even if it's just for the like obscurability of it, because it will be so rare. So at that point, like,
And I haven't canceled mine, and for the sheer reason of I'm not letting Intellivision off the hook. Like, if I cancel it, that helps them out, because that's like one less obligation that they have. They promised the system. I invested $10,000 into it, and I pre-ordered. I put $100 down on getting the Founders Edition. I I want I want something from this company.
like for that reason, I probably won't cancel it. And I did have a lot of fun playing it, so I know it's going to be
Played
something I enjoy.
a retro pie.
But now we're
shell
getting notices
orange
that
pie.
GameStop is canceling Intellivision altogether. Man, I can no longer really just I can no longer just like have like just I can't remain on the sideline at this point. They're doing things that are just like don't make sense to me right now.
You can tell he's coming to the full realization that this company is filled with horrible people that either one have no idea how to run a business, or two proactively scamming people out of money. But either way, it's bending over their customers and screwing them.
The unboxing, that was obviously for investors. It was cool to see as a fan.
No, it wasn't. It was a scam.
The typos were weird. I don't know how you missed a typo. That was very strange.
Because it was a scam to fool people.
But I mean, that was obviously for investors. I think they're just so desperate to get investors at this point, and they keep falling through. I don't know if maybe they had somebody on the hook and it fell through.
The kind of money that Intellivision needs to survive right now is so large that there's no investor out there outside of maybe a family member or family friend of people that work there that would dare give a dime to this company based off their track record.
Quiet period now for almost 2 months. Still no news. If you would have told me a year ago that in April of 2022 this isn't out, I would have called you crazy, and I would have said I'd be out. I've said it in Amico After Dark. I've said it on my channel.
You did.
If this thing isn't out by a certain time, like I can no longer like just continue to stand by it. And
This is something that really pisses me off too, and why I've kind of changed my tune on Tommy the more I think about this, is how much he's screwed over the people that had faith in him and trusted him, where he's just bulldozed a path through so many YouTube channels that he couldn't give a shit about. OEB Pete literally left the platform because he had so much faith in this, put so many videos out on it, and then got so much backlash from the community that he's just like, you know what? I'm out. I mean, that's one of the reasons he left. I literally destroyed my entire brand standing up for Tommy, believing his word for too long. RetroBro, same situation here. The entire Amico cult is completely tarnished. All these channels, I mean, they weren't really anything to begin with, but Review Tech USA, like if you look back at his initial interviews with Tommy, how ridiculous Rich looks from trying to play the good guy and stand up for Tommy.
You could get a 2D Castlevania on it. I don't care if you have a hamster inside of it, but that's
Well, there you go.
I'm serious. No, I'm saying that I want a Castlevania. Yeah. Konami's doing absolutely nothing with their IPs.
Yep.
It's family enough. It could be like PG.
I can tell you this, Rich, is that Jason Enos, who worked at Konami for 12 years, personal friend of mine for over 25 years. He's our vice president of production. So you think he knows some people over at Konami that could help us with getting the Castlevania thing?
Tommy just destroyed everything he touched along the way. He was very selfish. It was just me, and give me your money. And we took that as, okay, we'll take the risk here as YouTubers because it's cool to be at the ground level of something that's exciting. And he took full advantage of so many YouTubers and ruined them their careers, ruined their channels, ruined any path they had on this platform. And what acknowledgement has Tommy had? What apologies has he had? Nothing.
I think I'm at that breaking point to where this no longer makes sense to really kind of support. At this point, I'll keep my pre-order. I'll sit on the sidelines and see what's going on, but I don't know how much longer they can just kick this can down the road. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
You can tell he's so torn.
It's very frustrating.
It takes a lot to come out and just speak your mind against people that you consider your friend, that you've trusted for so long, and that you've spent quality time with. In John's case, at his house. Tommy was at his house playing the dev unit of the Amico, fooling all of them. And it's really hard to come out and take a stance against that. And I, especially after what I did, I kind of laid the groundwork for this, and I was excommunicated from the cult. I was blocked by a number of people, including this guy, because I decided to stand up for what I believed in instead of just spouting off more lies to pretend everything's hunky-dory when it wasn't.
What could I possibly do as a content creator and as a fan? There's nothing to talk about. I love all my friends that still do the podcasts and want to be excited for it, but I mean,
so you love these guys that blocked me when I made a video similar to what you're doing right now. Okay. I guess, I mean, from a certain perspective, you can say you understand their mentality because you used to be like that, because I used to be like that, and I understand their mentality. But seeing how they reacted to me, seeing how you reacted to me, John, and blocked me right off the bat, at least you came to your senses and unblocked me and told me your feelings and being honest with me and truthful. These guys are still like in la la land, completely delusional to the facts that exist in reality.
I mean, it's like being a Browns fan. Like, for those that follow football, like, how can you continue to be a Browns fan? Like, it doesn't make sense.
These cultists, these podcasters talking about the Amico all the time, they're fans of the idea of a console and completely separated from the facts, the reality, or people getting screwed over by a company stealing money from others. They literally are just fans of the company.
I'm just sitting back. I don't see at this point how this thing can do more than come out with a few thousand units.
It's not going to come out with any.
If GameStop, I mean, if GameStop is canceling it, this pretty much tells me like they don't even have the manufacturing to go to retail. They don't have the manufacturing to go to just put it out themselves at this point. So,
and it makes no sense to do that anyways without a
Anyways,
backend.
That's my update. I'm almost at 10 minutes. I got to go to the gym. I'll catch you guys later. Comment below. Keep it nice. Tell me your thoughts.
All right, so that's basically all he had to say. He's trying his best to ride the fence here while also being honest, and it's respectable to at least take this stance, and understandable that he's hesitant to go full on anti-Tommy right off the bat, because that's exactly how I was. But the more I've gone down this rabbit hole of finding out what this company is, who the people are that work there, and what they're all about, really, I think it's only a matter of time before John steps up and is a lot more anti-Intellivision as time goes on. Will they ever come out with a console? I don't think so. I really don't. If anything, like I said, a third party out of bankruptcy or buying their parts for pennies on the dollar and putting it together. But Intellivision getting the founders out makes no sense right now. They'd have to get a running back end. They'd have to get the online scores. They'd have to have the store running. They'd have to get the NFT cards on the games working. None of this is working right now. So to go through all of that for a few hundred units that need to be put together by hand in the United States for an exorbitant amount of money, from a business sense, makes no sense. Looking at the company and Intellivision and how it seems like it's being run by scam artists, why would they produce something? It's just, it's a cluster flux of a situation that is just, at least it's interesting to follow. I wonder where it goes from here, but hope is no longer on the table. Now it's just, how bad is it going to get? I'm going to leave it right there. Thanks again to RetroBro for seeing the light and in making this video. And I'll be interested to see where you go with your channel from here on out. And for those of you that made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
The revenue share for that cash starts getting distributed later this year too. I mean, how crazy is that, right? That you could make an angel investment today and start seeing cash within months. The revenue share is right around the corner. We're on track to be sending out cash to investors by the end of this year.
Smash